Slăvit și binecuvântat să fie Domnul!
Amin.
Pentru că trăim într-o țară a egalității, pentru frații mei care sunt români și nu vorbesc prea bine engleza, vrem în această dimineață să vorbim despre un punct de referință, redefinirea căsătoriei în termenii biblici. Dacă societatea încearcă să redefinească zi de zi căsătoria, astăzi vrem să o ducem înapoi la început, așa cum ziditorul a făcut-o în ziua când a întemeiat pământul. Vrem să punem aceste gânduri în fața mirilor, în fața noastră și Dumnezeu să ne ajute la aceasta. Brothers and sisters, friends of the family, beloved friends, ladies and gentlemen, and most importantly, Alex and Adelina. It is a privilege to be serving alongside you today for a number of reasons. While I do enjoy weddings and I like attending weddings, good food for Romanian people, of course, as always, nice festivities and people always happy. Today is a privilege, most importantly, because I would say I'm attending a special wedding. It is, I wouldn't call her my baby sister, I call her my little sister. I don't know how to call her, my sister. My sister's getting married, and that in itself should say everything. At the same time, I look at Alex as a young man whom I've come to cherish and appreciate. I've seen him grow over the past few years. We've had moments together at retreats and youth retreats, and I've seen him mature from a young boy to a young man who loves the Lord and serves the Lord. It is a privilege, truly. It's a privilege to be serving alongside a very good friend and a mentor of mine, Brother Pastor Andrei, which is always a pleasure to meet and be with. And most importantly, it's a privilege because we get to speak from the Word of the Lord. And the Word of the Lord is important as it calibrates our ways, our paths. And I think most importantly, for the subject we'll be treating today, we will come to understand that in the beginning, God always knew better. It's a privilege to share messages like these. Today I would like to speak about marriage. And it's a very interesting topic because nowadays society has fought really hard to redefine or reattribute what marriage truly means. And because we get so many mixed messages regarding marriage, it becomes very difficult for us to really assess what marriage actually is. I would like to challenge and say that if you go online with the breadth and wealth of the internet, you will have a very hard time finding a true definition of marriage. Nobody can say what marriage actually is. There's a number of definitions, there's no consensus. When we talk about marriage, society puts it as such. It is the union of a man and a woman in a relationship. Sounds quite platonic, like a friendship. You know, I have a friend, we have a friend, we get together, we hang out together, I guess we're married. It sounds very platonic. Then we have the redefinition of a contract between two consenting adults. As long as they love each other, doesn't matter how and who and where, well, you know, if they just get along, it's marriage, it's fine. Then all of a sudden we have society coming in and telling us that, well, it is the end of all freedoms of the bachelor and bachelorette. And Hollywood loves to shove this in our face. Once you get, oh, you're married. Oh, yeah, married. And married people never have fun. Married people never have a good time. Married people never get to enjoy life. Married people, all they have to do is sit at home, rock a child to sleep, put a bottle in their mouth, and, you know, kind of go to work. And that's what marriage typically is. And society has come to define marriage as such to the point where oftentimes you'll speak to young people and they'll say, I don't want to get married because marriage sounds really boring, sounds really weird. It's not for me. And society's fought really hard to redefine marriage. Not surprising then that there's so many issues in contemporary marriage. We speak of abuse, we speak of distaste, of dishonesty, mistrust, of roles that have been imbalanced. And all of a sudden, we're amazed that there's so many issues with marriage. The rate of divorce is very high. People are unhappy. So many issues arise. And I ask myself why. And I'm sure society would like to know the answer as well. And today, if we want to truly know the meaning of something, I would like to claim that we need to go back to the inventor, the creator of that one thing. Let me do a poll without asking you to raise your hands. All of us that buy, let's say, electronic devices, they always come with that very thick manual, instruction book. How many of us actually read the book? Of course not. We're educated individuals. We've seen a phone before. We've seen a coffee maker before. I don't need a book to tell me that I have to put water, coffee, press a button, and I can go to work very happy. I've had coffee. It's all good. We don't need it. But when something breaks down, we always got to come back to that manual and assess, why is it not working? We bought a coffee maker, I believe, 2 years ago. Everything was running smoothly until one day I decided to clean the coffee maker. It has this auto clean feature. It's very smart. I would like to say like me, but I'm not sure if that's the case. Very good coffee maker, very smart. And I knew that there's something about the smartness, right? Part vinegar, part water. It's going to clean the coffee maker. And it has a button, very easy to use. But then again, how much vinegar, how much water, how much part, how much time, how much volume, quantity. And I'm sitting there going through the cupboard, wrecking the house apart. My wife is looking at me puzzled as to why the big mess in the room. I'm trying to find that book. I need to understand what the manufacturer specified as the right quantity of vinegar and water. When we need to fix something, we need to go back to the inventor, the creator. And I would like to challenge us today to realize that when we want to speak about marriage, it is impossible to define marriage in subjective terms, but for looking back at the beginning. There is a point of reference in marriage, and that means going back to the creator of marriage, going back to the one who instituted marriage and who brought marriage to be. If we want to understand what marriage is, only God can explain it to us. And I'm telling you today we have a wonderful manual. And that manual, that guidebook, whatever you want to call it, is called the Holy Bible. And oftentimes we feel like an outdated book like the Bible has nothing to tell us in our contemporary society where all of us are educated individuals, we've studied, we've looked. What can the Bible really teach us? But I would like to tell you, if we look in the scriptures today, we will find that God had defined marriage so perfectly that if you stay within the confines of these bounds, we will always have happy marriages. In that sense, I have entitled my message, A Point of Reference. In the beginning, the Creator. Whenever something goes wrong, we need to go back to a point of reference. I work a lot with computers. Those of you that have computers in your home will know that one day you're browsing the web, email's working well, music plays nicely, and all of a sudden the computer just dies. Nothing works, nothing seems to be going well. You shake the monitor, nothing's really happening. You don't know, you're fretting, you're upset. And there's that one feature and it says, do you want to go back to the last known state when your computer was actually alive and working well? And we say, yes, please. And we try to go back to a point of reference. What I would like to challenge us today for marriage in the 21st century, let us do a point of reference. Go back to a point of reference, a moment when God created marriage, and let us assess what was happening then and what has changed since then. In that aspect, what is our point of reference? The passage from Matthew 19 with verse 4 states as such. And he answered and said to them, have you not read that he who made them, or the creator in the beginning, made them in the beginning male and female? First of all, we speak of a creator and we speak of a time frame in the beginning. If we want to really look at what the definition of marriage is, no psychology textbook, no sociological definition, no guidebook, no judge, no government, nobody will be able to define it, because if we want to know the definition of marriage, in the beginning, the creator. We need to turn back to that point of reference. The Creator created them. And if anybody is able to describe it, discuss it, it is the one who by his own initiative brought marriage to be. There was an extreme care taken in creating the man and the woman. While God had created the plants, the flowers, and everything that is there, like we men love to call them colorful weeds. Of course, when God created the whole entire nature, there is one point in the Bible where it says, and God said, let us make man in our image. We speak of the Trinitarian Council, God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. There was a significant investment in creating man and woman. It wasn't just they appeared out of nowhere and all of a sudden they got married. God had a very specific plan in mind when He created the marriage. And while society has fought really hard to redefine what marriage truly is nowadays, I would like to challenge us today. In the beginning is the point of reference for us this morning. So what is the definition of marriage from in the beginning standpoint? What is marriage and what was marriage in the beginning? First of all, in the beginning, marriage was a union of two distinct sexes. Verse 4, and he answered and he also said to them, have you not read that in the beginning he who made them male and female? They are two distinct sexes. More importantly, there are two complementary sexes. What does that mean? They are complementary individuals in their psychology. It is without trying to do much of a debate this morning, men and women do think differently. No matter how we try to frame it, men and women will always think differently. By design, by creation, we were made such as that. Mark Gungor, who is a wonderful man who does conferences for families, was saying of the tale of two brains, discussing the way men and women always think in a very funny and comedic way. At one point, he's describing that if we take the same event and we get a man and a woman to describe it, we will always get a very different set of information. Let's say something happened on the road on the way to get there. If you ask a man, it's all about logic. And this is not to be disrespectful to any ladies in the room, but it's all about logic. Who was there? What happened? How long did it take? Where did it take place? What happened afterwards? That's pretty much all we care about. It's facts and logic. If we bring the ladies' perspective, it's always about the emotions going on at the time. You must understand that I was very stressed because I was meeting with my mother that morning, and there was a lot of emotions going at play, and when I saw that, it really threw me off. And that being said, and all of a sudden you get a very different story about the exact same account. Psychologically, men and women are different. We are complementary in our psychology. We are complementary in our biology, anatomically speaking. Men by design are typically somewhat larger, can lift larger weights. God made us as that. When we speak about women, no matter how much science would like to make it happen, I will tell you right now, never in the history of humanity, past or future, will there be a man to give birth. No matter how much a man would love it, I don't think anybody wants it, but regardless, no matter how much a man would love to have that privilege, want or not, nobody will be able to, because by biology, God created us different, complementary in nature. It was the union of two distinct sexes. The Creator created them. And by this, we are talking about a different combination where the creation as a whole comes together like pieces of a puzzle. And I'm sure you've heard the young people say, "Why do you like him?" "Because he completes me." "Why do you like her?" "Because she makes me happy." "Oh, she's my better half." Why do we use these terms? Because it is a complementary nature between the two different sexes. In the beginning, the Creator created a union of two unique, distinct, and complementary sexes. And I would like to make a statement now that I'll keep repeating throughout this message. No other combination works. The inventor knew better. When God made us, He knew better. No matter what society will try to say, this is the only combination that works in marriage. First of all, in marriage, we have a union of two distinct sexes. Secondly, in the first marriage, in the beginning, the point of reference says that it was a union of two exclusive individuals. This is verse 5 in our passage. "And he said, for this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh." A man and his wife, male and female. We're talking about singular words here. We're not talking about men and women. When God created Adam and Eve, it was one man and one woman joined together in unity. The Bible doesn't speak of one Adam and three Eves, no matter how many guys would love to think of that. The Bible doesn't speak of three Adams and one Eve, no matter how much any lady would be afraid of hearing a word like that. No matter how we want to frame it, in the beginning, God created this exclusivity for the two individuals. They were the union of two people. What is the significance of this very important aspect? We're speaking about the plurality of partners becoming an issue of the two being able to come together emotionally. Medical, psychological research has been done to assess what happens when an individual has multiple partners, be it sexual even. At one point, there is a certain threshold after which, after a certain number of partners, an individual will not be able to emotionally connect to another person. And this is what God was trying to avoid when He made marriage. One man, one woman, one initial investment in exclusivity of marriage. It is one couple made of two distinct individuals. Why is this important again? Because everybody's born with this purity and naive being. Every girl would like to think of that Prince Charming that one day is going to come with very shiny hair and a horse that rides on 350 horsepower, and he has a very nice bank account and a nice house with a balcony and birds chirping in the window, and he has whatever the story may be nowadays if you want to bring it to a contemporary level. Every girl thinks of that Prince Charming, and she makes that dream in trying to invest in that one relationship. Every guy is thinking of that princess that one day he's going to save away and take her to his mansion and make her his bride and bake her cookies and do whatever, not nowadays, do whatever she wants and try to make her happy, and all the promises, you will never cry when you're with me, I will take all your tears away. We sound like God all of a sudden. Men try to do this, but it is an investment that we build up, and in that first relationship, that entire investment is being poured out. And all of a sudden you have the two distinct individuals making all these dreams, and one day it culminates in one relationship. What do you think happens when that one relationship breaks up? No wonder we speak of depression, we speak of anger, anxiety, cries, tears. No wonder there's so many issues in society nowadays. It doesn't matter. Don't let a book tell you how to live your life. But in the beginning, the Creator knew better. And I would like to say with all my heart, praise be the name of the Lord. In this aspect, we speak of this exclusivity in marriage. No other combination works. Thirdly, the definition of two distinct roles. In the beginning, God created them as two distinct roles. Verse 4 we read, verse 5 we've read, we speak of male and female, husband and wife. By definition, there are two distinct roles. If we turn back to Genesis chapter 2, verse 18, God says that it is not good for man to be alone. I will make him a comparable helper. When we speak of these aspects, we speak of something on a physical, emotional, and rational level. No matter how much every person will love their doggy, their cat, or whatever animal we like to keep at house, hamsters and everything else, no matter how much we like our pets and animals, no animal will be able to physically connect with us. It can't shake our hands. I'm sorry. The puppies might be cute and all, but they can't really behave like a human. No matter how much we like them, on an emotional level, an animal cannot connect to a human being. On a rational level, no matter how much we like to make dolphins speak, no animal will be able to rationally communicate with another human being. But God made it such that a man and a woman can connect on a rational, emotional, and physical level. It was the initial creation of God. Most importantly, we speak of two individuals that are equal in worth, but different in their responsibilities. And right away, society jumps up. You can't say that. There's equality across the line. Men and women are equal all together. And I stand for equality in worth, because the two are equal in worth. But in the terms of roles in the family, societally speaking, there is a complete difference. No matter how much we would like to think that man can wear an apron, bake very well, and raise babies all night long, I will tell you that no man can emotionally connect to a child like a mother can. It is something that God created in woman to be able to connect to a child like no man can ever do. No matter how much we like to think that mom can go to work and bring money home and create an empire, while we respect women that can do that, I would like to say that the drive that God has put in man, that desire to compete with each other, to grow and get further in life, was put such that man could support a family. God had this in mind when he created two distinct roles for the two individuals. They were made perfect unto their roles. And in that sense, Paul comes and says in Ephesians 5, wives, be submitted unto your husbands. Help them grow. Help them achieve what they need to do. Be there for them. Listen to their opinions. Husbands, love your wives. There's no talk of domination, of ruling over. There's a perfect unity, collaboration that God had intended in the beginning. I love this quote from Matthew Henry, who's a very respected Bible commentary. He says that when God made Eve, he didn't take her from Adam's head to make her rule over him. He didn't take her from Adam's feet to make him trample over her, but he took her from his side that she may be equal to him. She took him from under his arm that he may protect her, and he took her close to his heart that he may love her. Only the Creator knew how to make this work perfectly. No other combination works. In the beginning, there was an inseparable bond. The two become one flesh, and nothing can break apart that one bond but death and death alone. No matter how we like to frame it, no matter what courts will say, only God is allowed to change the rules. And for thousands and thousands of years, God has not made one single alteration. In the beginning, the Creator knew best. And lastly, most importantly, in the beginning, the foundation and founder and designer was God and God alone. A family that is built on these 4 principles and is built on the foundation of biblical teaching and faith in God is a family that will be able to succeed no matter what. Alex and Adelina, I tell you today, there should be a point of reference in your marriage life. That point of reference is called the beginning. When times get tough, when life becomes difficult, and today's happy and nice, everybody's smiling, pictures all around, everybody's shaking your hand, life is wonderful. The experience of a lifetime, and I'm not there yet, but in the experience I've accumulated in my years of marriage, I can say that life is quite different. And I think that most of us will agree, while it is beautiful, it comes with its issues and troubles. In that aspect, when times of sorrow will come, think of the beginning. How was your feeling today? How are you today? You're happy, you're smiling, you're just overjoyed because you're getting married. Remember this when times get tough. Remember that in the beginning you had nothing and you built something together as a family. In the beginning is a point of reference. When things break down, ask yourselves, why did you get married? Why were you there in the beginning? Because you loved each other, because of the so many dreams you had? Your point of reference is in the beginning. Today, the smiles, the happiness, the couples that are around you, everybody who's here would like to tell you one thing. This is your point of reference. May God help you, may God keep you, and may God bless you in your life. Amen.